My name is Mari, and today I will be talking about the beautiful Death Valley National Park. Death Valley includes over 3 million acres of land, primarily in eastern California, but extends into Nevada. Death Valley holds the record for the hottest temperature in the world at 134 degrees Fahrenheit in 1913. The land is filled with fauna and flora that have adapted to the harsh conditions. Death Valley is part of the Basin and Range, but is also located in the Great Basin subprovince, as stated in both the NPS Geodiversity Atlas and the Secrets of Death Valley Uncovered. Death Valley sits on a continental rift system that is constantly stretching and pulling apart. Mining became prevalent in Death Valley in the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Miners found valuable minerals like gold and silver, but the biggest moneymaker was borax. Borax, also called white gold of the desert, was loaded up and taken down to the railhead of Mojave by what was called the 20 Mule Team through the years 1883 to 1889. It is famously called the 20 Mule Team, but in actuality, it was 18 mules and 2 horses. Although Death Valley was viewed as inhospitable, miners built cabins like the one shown on the slide at the Queen of Sheba mine. Initially, Death Valley was assigned the title of a national monument in 1933 by President Herbert Hoover, but was later designated a national park in 1994 as a part of the California Desert Protection Act signed by President Bill Clinton. According to the article by the National Park Service's Death Valley Then and Now, quote, one of the reasons for the long wait for Death Valley to become a national park was that the desert had negative connotations for many Americans and was often seen as inhospitable and threatening wilderness wasteland, not a national treasure, unquote. They also explain that these days people venture out to Death Valley for quiet, peace, and space away from the crazy world we live in today. The rocks found in Death Valley can go back about 1.7 billion years. These Mesoproterozoic metamorphic rocks can be found in the Black Mountains of the park. The Proterozoic rocks found have been reworked by the environment, so it is challenging to predict what was going on at that time. The more reliable sources of the park's history are the 500 million year old limestone. Primarily sedimentary rocks like limestone and shale are found in Death Valley. These rocks are proof of past bodies of water and marine life. Limestone is formed by the remains of skeletons and shells of marine life, and shale forms from the compaction of mud. There is evidence of volcanic fields, shallow seas, and lakes in the park, like the presence of gold inside granite and the presence of limestone throughout that park. About 100 million years ago, the oceanic plate subducted under North America's continental plate. During this process, land was forced upward and heat powered these volcanoes, causing the seas that were once present to retreat. There have been traces of gold veins in granite present at the park, providing evidence of past volcanic eruptions. About 13 million years ago, the compression changed to pulling apart or rifting. During the divergence, the mountains tilted downwards and the crust grew thinner. This formed a deep basin between the mountain ranges called Badwater Basin, shown on the slide. Badwater Basin is 282 feet under sea level. Sediment lands on top of the basin, but the continuous stretching causes sinkage. The continental crust in Badwater Basin is only 16 miles thick, when the typical crust is about 40 miles thick. Death Valley was once part of a large lake system during North America's last ice age. Due to climate significantly warming up, the evaporation occurred about 10,000 years ago. This evaporation caused large salt deposits to remain. The salt pans make up about 40 miles of land and is nicknamed the Devil's Golf Course. It is even mentioned that the crackling sounds the salt deposits make are caused by the sun completely drying them up. You may ask, why is Death Valley so dry? The reason for this is the lack of rain seen in the valley. The valley is blocked from the rain by four different mountain ranges. They call this blockade of moisture from the Pacific Ocean rain shadows. Death Valley only sees about 2 inches of rain and about 150 inches of evaporation per year. The small amount of moisture is no match for the dehydration of the land. Death Valley holds not only the record for the hottest temperatures in the world, but it also is the lowest point of all of North America. Climate and rifting is constantly changing the lay of the land. With the rate of sediment placed versus the erosion, subsidence, and the thin crust, it is likely that Death Valley will sink lower than 282 feet below sea level. We learned that mining was prevalent in Death Valley, but the main moneymaker was borax. We learned that there's multiple sources of evidence proving that this dry desert once housed a lake with marine life and had past volcanic activity. Death Valley may be considered inhospitable, but the national park is a great example of how weathering, erosion, and plate tectonics are constantly impacting land.